I just went on a solo cruise and I came back more confident in my femininity than I've ever been. I just went on, I just went, I just got back from a solo cruise. I just went on a solo cruise and I came back more confident in my femininity than I've ever been. And I didn't see it coming. I went on this cruise because I love to travel. I wanted so bad to travel international this year, but that just didn't happen. Right now, I'm flying solo. Previously, I had a travel partner, and international travel, if you've never planned a trip, unless you go through a planned tour guide, you plan everything yourself. You have to know what you want to do through all the many options, make so many decisions. That was too much for me. I couldn't decide where to go. If I finally did decide where I wanted to go, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do when I got there. Having a travel partner, it was easy to say, hey, do you think we'd enjoy this? Yeah, let's do this. Oh, maybe not. Let's do this instead. And then I remembered, why don't I just go on a cruise? The itinerary is taken care of, food's available 24 hours of the day. The ship is big, it's basically a floating city. Everything is taken care of. So, 2 months ago, I booked a cruise, and 2 weeks ago, I got back from that cruise. Before I went, I had a lot of passing anxiety. Of course, I'm visibly trans. My goal is to just blend in. I just want to fucking blend in. It's especially hard in Alabama, feeling like I stick out with the political bullshit that's going on. It is just easy for that to take a mental toll on a person. I was most nervous about bathroom usage on the cruise. Now, of course, I'd be wearing a bikini and I can't just walk in the men's room in that. So I relegated myself. I'm going to use a women's restroom. That's where I fit in best. So I went on the cruise. I told multiple friends before I went there, be prepared. I might uh, give you a random call when I'm just crying in my room. And of course, my fucking MacBook says the battery's dying, so that's a treat. I think I can just walk and talk though. So, yeah, I was concerned that I would just be lonely in my room, but that turns out um, I actually had a really good time on this cruise, and I want to tell you all about it. Okay, we're plugged in. We're good to go. I'm going to assume I'm framed up well enough. So, before I went on the cruise, my legal name is not changed. I go by Emma everywhere at work, with my family, those who still interact with me, my friends, my online accounts. I'm still working through the legal process. So I knew that my stateroom card, Royal Caribbean calls it a CPAS card, would have my dead name on it. And some of the things I read said, as soon as you get on the ship, go to customer service and talk with them, and they should be able to get it updated. So get on the ship, um, go to the bar, order a drink. There was my dead name. Um, go take a picture. Gave him my room number. My dead name pulled up. Go to my room, get my card. There's my dead name on the card. I knew that was going to happen. But, you know, I go the morning of day 2, I go to customer service and talk with them and explain the situation, ask them if they can update their systems so that I don't have to come out with each and every transaction at the bar, taking a picture, getting on and off the ship. I understand because, you know, my ID name should match getting on and off the ship. Where else? Everywhere else. Everywhere a transaction was made on the ship, dinner reservations, my name came up, a name. So I was essentially coming out to every single person, every single crew member on the ship at every transaction I made. The crew was incredible. Every single crew member, I told them once, and they remembered. They knew me. They were so nice, so interactive. My second day, Johnny Rockets, I even got a nickname from one of the crew who served me the day before. He said, "Hey, Ems, I saved your favorite table." And of course, that table was just the one I had sat at the day before. I talked to the, I don't remember the term exactly, but basically the customer service manager. And he was very accommodating. He updated my name on the CPass card, which really didn't do anything other than every time I looked at it, it said Emma, which was nice. But every night before dinner, I would take pictures and give them my room number, the photographer, my room number, and they'd be like, "Dead name?" It's like, yeah, you could call me Emma though. I go by Emma. They caught on, like I said, real quick. The crew was incredible. Corporate failed though. Not even have a place in their system as large as they are to have a preferred name. I mean, even at my company of that I work for, of 30,000 some odd people, in all of our systems, we have a preferred name field, and that updating the preferred name in one place updates the visible name everywhere. But apparently, that's not the case. It took 3 nights for the customer service manager to figure this out. And once he did, as right before I was done getting ready for dinner in my room, I get a call from the customer service manager. He's like, "Hey, Emma, do you have time to come down for a meeting with me and the food and beverage manager?" Now, I didn't hear him say clearly the food and beverage manager. I thought he said the family manager, and my heart kind of stops. Like, oh my god, did I do something wrong? What's going on? So I told him, yeah, I can be there in 15 minutes. So I get down there, I go back to the back office, meet with him, the food and beverage manager, for about 15 or so minutes. We talked about everything around the name situation. And I told him how thankful I was that he was, the thought and the work that he put in to getting my name spread throughout the ship. And we also discussed how corporate field, they could easily add a preferred name field that would populate through all the systems within the ship. And he said he would bring that up to corporate the next time he had a chance. and also expressed my gratitude for all the crew members on board, how welcoming they were, how good they were at using my name once I told them. Um, and the meeting was over. So they did all they could do. One thing I didn't mention, it was the morning of day 2. I went to customer service. The lady at around 7 a.m. The lady who was working there spent 10 minutes hacking away at the keyboard, not able to get my name updated correctly in the systems. She tried her hardest to do this. It just took a few nights for the manager to actually learn this can't be done. But in the meantime, he held meetings with all the managers, the groups within throughout the ship, and tried their best to accommodate um me and make me feel comfortable and welcome. And I appreciate that. So by the middle of the ship, the middle of the trip, I learned that no one fucking cared. No one cared that how I looked, that I was transgender. I was felt like I just blended in, and everyone's so involved in their own world of how they look, what they're going to do today, what are they doing right now, what are they going to eat, what drink are they going to order, do they need to put more sunscreen on, whatever. No one fucking cares. They don't. Um, and it was I went on a sailboat swim and snorkel excursion, and on the ride back I got a couple of performative compliments, and it was at this moment I learned these performative compliments actually hurt me. Of all the skinny white bitches on that sailboat in bikinis, I was the only one these two older ladies called out specifically and said that they were beautiful. So they came up to me and they said that I was beautiful. And yeah, of course I am. I would not be standing here in this bikini if I was not thinking I was beautiful. I thanked them, and it wasn't until that afternoon back on the ship that I realized these were just performative compliments that I believe just make, or they're making them just to make themselves feel better. It's like, oh, I told this trans woman who probably never heard it before that she's beautiful. I'm such a good person. I love being complimented. What I don't like is these performative compliments. If you're going to compliment me, compliment all these other beautiful women on the sailboat, of which there's 50 people, a good half and half male female ratio. Um, I did get quite a few real compliments though, and these felt very good. There's this one, the compliments were based wholly around uh, the dresses I wore to dinner. And there's this one specific dress I wore 2 nights on the ship. And each night I got multiple compliments for this dress. And even back home, I went to the farmer's market last Saturday wearing this dress. I got compliments from 2 people on that dress. Very happy with that dress. I look great in that dress. Also, bathrooms clicked. Um, Using the bathroom multiple times a day, the public women's restroom multiple times a day. There's always women going in and out of there. Sometimes I was alone. Sometimes there's a line that I had to stand in. Sometimes I had to interact with these other women within the bathroom. Everything was fine. I did not feel othered, felt like I blended in. I don't know how I look to these other women, and frankly, I don't care anymore. I don't care. It doesn't matter. One thing I did find interesting, though, is that to me, I was the only visible trans person on the ship. There was mostly families, some couples, a few queer couples, very few solo travelers. I think I met, well, I definitely met four solo travelers, a couple groups of like two friends traveling together. So very few solo travelers. I might have clocked one non-binary teen, but as far as I know, as far as I'm aware, I was the only transgender woman on the ship. Transgender man. There's no transgender men on the ship. So that was yeah, that was kind of a loneliness in and of itself. But this whole time I was alone. I didn't fall apart. I got to do whatever I wanted whenever I wanted to do it. I didn't do anything that I didn't want to do. I did everything I set out to do. I took so much time for myself, a lot of contemplating. I had a really good time. So by day four, I felt something shifted. Um, there's no one or two, no singular event that made this shift happen. It just organically happened over the trip, and like a positive shift. And day five, I'm going to read this word for word so that I get it right. My ex-wife texted me asking if I was having fun. And this is what I said back, direct quote, a lot of fun, definitely so much more confident in my femininity, living as female. No one has batted an eye or said anything negative. Bathrooms are now easy. I feel sexy in my swimsuit, and crew helped the best they could to make sure I feel welcome. Some crew knew me just because they've been told to address me as Emma in meetings, which felt kind of weird. That was a moment I realized something had already shifted. I didn't plan it. I didn't even notice it was happening. I just lived, and somewhere in the middle of it all, I found my footing. So coming back home, I've realized for me, being secure in my femininity, that is just quite the word to booger up. Being secure in my femininity means being misgendered doesn't move me anymore. It used to move me to tears. Now it does nothing because I know who I am. This cruise, I feel, is the final push to to socializing me into womanhood and the comfort level that I needed to be at to feel secure every day back home. For the past 4 5 months, 4 to 5 months, I've been taking gabapentin 100 milligrams 3 times a day for anxiety. And back in January, it helped so much, um, so much for my anxiety. Um, and by day two or three, I looked at my little prescription bag container and realized I hadn't been taking the gabapentin for my anxiety. And that was the only thing I took for anxiety. And I realized I wasn't anxious anymore. I didn't have these racing thoughts. I wasn't in a rush anywhere. Um, I was just living. And it's been a week and a half since I've been back home. So, um, 2.5 weeks since I've last taken some. I don't know. Date math is hard. But what I'm getting at is, um, yeah. So I didn't feel ready for this cruise, but I'm so glad I went on it. I'm just looking at my notes to make sure I covered everything because I want, um, I just want this to be a good video. I had a really great time on this cruise. Royal Caribbean, the crew did fantastic on the ship. They were so nice. Corporate failed. Um, I hope they can fix this preferred name field for future travelers. And, it's not only transgender people who go by a different name. Um, so it affects all people who have a preferred name that is not the legal name on their license or their passport, whatever travel document they choose to use when they're cruising. And my close friend can't eat alone in a restaurant. I went on a cruise alone, visibly trans, and I just lived.